what seems to be heavily edited segments of taped confessions. This man says he broke into an army base and stole Kalashnikovs. An official from the Popular Committees for General Security says all weapons stolen must be returned.
We are calling on anyone who took weapons must return them to the popular social committees in their areas. No legal action will be taken against those who return the weapons and regret taking them.
Pictures like this serve to demonstrate the standoff that's now holding in Libya. The people of the uprising say victory will be theirs. This is the town of Misrata in western Libya, which has reportedly fallen to the opposition. If these pictures are accurate, then they would seem to bear that out. The international media is now beginning to find its way into Libya. These pictures show pro-democracy supporters celebrating their control of the city of Benghazi, but interpreting the direction events are heading in remains as difficult for people in the country as it does for the outside world. This video purports to show the aftermath of fighting on the streets of Tripoli between pro and anti-Gaddafi forces. It's been widely reported from the capital in Benghazi that gangs of yellow-hatted militia have been given free rein to move house to house in the hunt for the opposition. Gaddafi's tactics have enraged even those who know him well.
He's using mercenaries, not because he wants to use them, because he cannot use the army. He cannot use the armed forces of Libya because they are Libyans and they are faithful and honest people. They will not kill themselves, because killing their cousins and uncles and friends, it means that they are killing themselves. So he doesn't trust them. He doesn't trust even his own guard.
Video emerges all the time showing chaos and the danger which protesters often run headlong into. Here, for instance, there seem to be snipers on the roof of a building opposite. A small crack is heard and a man goes down, shot in the groin. Another rumour, again unverifiable unless it happens, is that Gaddafi has threatened to blow up his oil pipelines, which would bring havoc to the country, already beset by poverty, and would have ramifications on oil prices across the world. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.
Meanwhile, a Libyan general told Al Jazeera on Wednesday that an Air Force pilot refused to bomb protesters in Benghazi. Al Jazeera has now obtained these exclusive pictures of the wreckage of the Russian-made Siko-22 that crashed near the town of Agdabia, east of Benghazi. The pilot and the co-pilot both ejected the plane after refusing to carry out the orders to bomb civilians in the city. Well, earlier, Libyan state television aired a short speech by Gaddafi's daughter Aisha, refuting reports that she'd left the country.
Firstly, I don't follow these agent channels. I only watch the official state channels. But I was surprised by the number of phone calls that I received from my friends abroad telling me this news. I would like to tell the Libyan people that I am as steadfast as this house I stand in front of. And this shows to the Libyan people the amount of lies, fabrications and false news these channels are spreading. I heard about the news that the UN ended my duties as an ambassador of goodwill. I heard this news and I don't know if it's true or not. But all Libyans that know me know I am a goodwill ambassador, with or without the UN.
Yusuf Bouandal joins me now here in Doha. He's a professor of international affairs at Qatar University. A very united front the Gaddafi family are shown. We've seen Aisha, we've seen Saif on television, and of course Gaddafi himself. And on the other side of, or outside the Libyan borders, we're seeing the international community with a united voice. What do you make of the two sides?
Well, obviously, it's normal that the Gaddafi family sticks together, and I will not be surprised, perhaps, to see that another son of his may be coming out on TV in the next 24 hours or so to quash speculations that he left the country. I read a report today that a plane was refused permission to land at Beirut airport because allegedly it carries Gaddafi's son and probably his daughter-in-law. So it's normal, given the situation, that the Gaddafi family wants to show a united front. They're all supporting the father against those people who want to overthrow them. The international community, of course, and people outside Libya are seeing the pictures held on TV, and most importantly now in the eastern region, the city of Benghazi is outside the control of Gaddafi, and we see those pictures which can only strengthen the resolve of the people inside Libya and also outside.
Of course, you know, while the Libyans seem to, from within, be able to control certain areas or cities, it is a very tough battle from all accounts of what information is filtering out of the country. And yet we have the international community still just talking, but would not be able to act in any way that would be positive for all sides.
Well, given the situation, the picture is not very, very clear, and obviously conspiracy theory walks in. Whatever is being reported by the news, some of it unfortunately turned out to be wrong, like what Aisha al-Qaddafi said a few minutes ago. But the international community is playing wait and see to a certain extent, making some kind of right noises. But there are so many economic interests at stake, and when we saw so many foreigners leaving Libya over the last 48 hours or so, then the situation will be a lot clearer for reports they will be bringing, and they will be briefed by the intelligence of their own respective countries to get a better picture of what has been going on in Libya over the last
Indeed, the international community is reacting very interestingly. We waited for a very long time for comments from the African Union. It's an area of the world, a continent that Gaddafi had great influence over. What did you make of their statement, where they did condemn, in fact, the violence that's been going on in the country?
Well, they did, and it seems to me that Gaddafi is losing friends by the day. So many condemnations from different parts of the world, and we can see the pressure, even verbal pressure, is mounting on Gaddafi, and especially the statement by Barack Obama.
Well, for the moment, Yusuf Bouendar, thank you for joining us. Of course, you'll be staying with us throughout the day to comment on what's going on in Libya. Well, as Muammar Gaddafi battles to keep control in the Libyan capital, the US president has weighed in on the violence there. Barack Obama made his first public comments on the crackdown in the country on Wednesday, calling it outrageous and unacceptable. From Washington, Patty Culhane reports.
The world has been watching the images snuck out of Libya. Blood in the streets. Cries of pain and terror. The stories of overwhelming force and absolute carnage. After more than a week of relative silence, U.S. President Barack Obama voiced his concerns late Wednesday.
The suffering and bloodshed is outrageous, and it is unacceptable. So are threats and orders to shoot peaceful protesters and further punish the people of Libya. These actions violate international norms and every standard of common decency. This violence must stop.
U.S. presidents don't usually make such clear demands for fear that if they are ignored, they would have to act. So what is this president prepared to do?
I've also asked my administration to prepare the full range of options that we have to respond to this crisis. This includes those actions we may take and those we will coordinate with our allies and partners.
So far, he isn't giving much detail, but Obama is sending his Secretary of State to meet with allies at the Human Rights Council in Geneva next week.
While people are dying, the world's greatest power is preparing.
Still, the director